to say, this is what I see, how I see it, and this is what I want done. The moment the National Commissioner implement the national or forward it to the next person lower, the National Commissioner is beginning to act on the minister's letter.
That's the way you see it.
That's the way I see it. That's now beginning to implement.
Yes.
That's the implementation now. Because if the National Commissioner was not in agreement, it was going to have to bounce back from that level back and say, can I engage? But now, in this case, the fact that now it had to now cascade further down, it means now we are now in the implementation stage.
Can we agree? I think it's easier if we agree that that SS9, which is also repeated in SS10, does not say to you, implement the deactivation. It doesn't say that when you read it. Just on the face of it, General, and it really should be easy for you to accept that.
What makes it difficult for me to accept is that a close-up report, the word close-up report, is a big word.
No, it may be a big word, General. You say three things. You know you're distinguishing between, in your paragraph 71, you distinguish between a close-up report and implementation of the deactivation. So you understood it as you were drafting this 71, paragraph 71, that those two are different. So let's not now conflate them and try and make them to mean the same thing, or implementation flows from a close-up report. You understand and you express it that way in paragraph 71, that he instructed you to do three things. You don't say in 71, he said, communicate and prepare close-up report, and because he said prepare close-up report, I started implementing. That's not what you say. You say, he said implement. And so where he says he never gave me instructions to implement, he's being dishonest. That's what you've said consistently. And what I'm putting to you, or what I'm simply discussing with you, is you could not rely on SS9, and insofar as you're trying to rely on SS10, you can't for the instruction to implement, because they do not say to you implement. They say only two things: close-up report, communicate.
I think, Chair, at this point in time, and I beg for your indulgence on this one, Chair, in this sense, if myself, I get this email and I give it to my legal team who assist me to craft the statement, who also understand it the same way and say, all right, in crafting and the word implement was used, as far as I'm concerned, this is how I understood it to mean. But if I was wrong, or maybe in the eyes of the chair or the commissioners, is two different words, I will accept it without being argumentative. But as far as I'm concerned, the intention was not to deviate from the National Commissioner's instruction, because to me, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it means exactly the same thing. So I just want to say, Chair, that communicate the deactivation to the team and prepare a close-up report. Already we have crossed the line of, we are now implementing. That's what I thought. But if I'm wrong, Commissioners, I will give up on this one.
So I just want to be clear, and it's not about what we prefer or the mistakes made by lawyers, if that's what you're suggesting. I'm looking at SS9, and all I need you to, or what I'm testing with you is, do you, and I expect you should accept, that SS9, on the face of it, does not contain an instruction, doesn't contain three instructions. It contains only two instructions. And it does not contain an instruction to implement the deactivation, just on the face of it. You've read it into the record. You may have read in your head, interpreted it, and decided it does contain an instruction to implement. That's a conversation for another day, how you would have gotten there. But I'm simply now discussing with you that on the face of it, it doesn't tell you to implement the deactivation of the PKTT. On the face of it.
Chair, if I was arguing with the person at my level, I was going to take it further, but at this point in time, I want to cut it short.
Earlier, General, I said your responses should not depend on who is engaging you. So please give the response that you want to give. I'm sorry for the interruption, Commissioner Waloyi. So please respond, General.
Chairperson, I don't want to really sound as if like I am, and I don't want to anger the commissioners as well. I want to leave it at that.
General, no, please speak freely. You make our job easy when you speak freely because we need to get to the bottom of the facts. You shouldn't not say things because you don't want to make me
If I was
angry.
talking to my lawyer, Chair, she was going to say that's semantics.
Try it with me. Maybe I'll say the same thing.
Yes. She
Try.
was going to say to me, I mean, it's one thing. You implemented, you want a close-up report. We are saying close, implement. And now the chair is strictly holding me onto a word and say, this word doesn't mean this, but when you look at the ultimate goal, we are going to the same direction.
General, maybe that word means, this word means that, whatever you mean with that. All I'm asking you.
I want to apologize, Chair, that I said that I hope it's not going to be used against me anywhere as well.
No. All that we will do is to assess the evidence. Be assured of that,
Thank you, Chair.
General.
General, all I am seeking from you is, do you accept on the face of SS9 that it doesn't contain an instruction to implement? It doesn't contain, maybe let me simplify it. Do you accept, and as I think you must, that on the face of SS9 there are no words that read, which is in your paragraph 71, there are no words that say implement the deactivation of the PKTT. I want to keep it simple. Do you accept that? On the face of it?
I accept it.
All right, thank you. In fact, when you tend to, still in that same bundle, if you go to page 211, this is a document that you gave us, and I think you said it's an affidavit, that it's SS14. I think you said it's the affidavit that the National Commissioner filed in your application in the High Court. Page 211, it starts at 210, SS14, you see that? You there, the National, are you there, General?
I'm there at
211, there the
SS14.
Yes, and then go to paragraph 8.5 of that document. There the National Commissioner says, on 14 January, I had it because I was just doing my job. The minister has given an instruction, and I thought we are all on the same team. We all want to implement immediately and deactivate. That's why I went ahead and gave instructions. That's your story. That's your explanation of your behavior. What you cannot do is, for that behavior, you cannot rely on SS9 and then use it to say the National Commissioner is being dishonest when he says he did not give me instructions to implement immediately, because that's what you're doing. And it's problematic for that reason, that he did not say that to you, not on SS9, maybe on the phone. If you want to say on the phone, that's what he told me, or in an email, that's what he told me, then we'll say to you, fine, let's see the email. But if you're relying on SS9, which is what you've been doing since you sat on the stand, and in your statement, if you're relying on SS9, no, SS9 does not give you that instruction. You drew it from somewhere else, not from SS9.
May I comment, Chair?
Yes, you may.
This words that says the National Commissioner is not being honest when he says that. If many will remember, after the 6th of July press briefing by General Mkhwanazi, at some point the National Commissioner was asked by the media, were you aware that he's going to make such press conference? He said, yes, he told me. And did you give such order that this thing be disbanded? He said, I never gave anyone any instruction. And then based on that, from my side, knowing that I have an email that directed me, that is how I approach it, to say, but the National Commission is not being honest here, because
the email, if you have another email, point us to it. Let's stop doing this, this secular discussion. If you have another email, by all means, introduce it. SS9, and now I'm putting it to you. SS9 does not instruct you to implement the deactivation. It doesn't. If that instruction was ever given by the National Commissioner, it's contained somewhere else. And you are free to refer us to that. But we can't keep doing this where you're insisting that the National Commissioner told me to implement the deactivation and he did that in SS9. It doesn't. And it's problematic that you insist that SS9 contains such an instruction. It doesn't. On any construction, it doesn't.
Just a last comment for me on this one, if I'm allowed, Chair.
Yes, you are. You may comment.
If there was this letter from the minister, then there is the email that comes from the National Commissioner's office, and there is a presentation in Parliament that speaks about the fact that the minister has issued an instruction to the directive to the National Commissioner, and there's been several meetings and consultative meetings held, and that we are now implementing, and this is how it's going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, there has been an agreement all the way that this is emanating from that letter, going to the directive by the National Commissioner, going to even up to Parliament and saying and coming up with an implementation plan. To me, the cycle is completed. But if it is rejected by the commissioners, I will accept it as well.
General, the National Commissioner implements with General Khumalo. We know that. He goes to General Khumalo and says, prepare a plan for me. So he is doing something arising from that letter from the minister. You do your own thing. And what you do is not based on anything that the National Commissioner asked you to do. He asked you to communicate, which you do. You communicate. 2, he says, prepare an activation plan, which you do. You present it to him on the 14th. But you do a third thing. You implement immediately. You give instructions to implement and deactivate. That is not contained anywhere in writing that we have seen. It's not in SS9, and if you're and so far you've relied only on SS9. So, and if that's the only thing you're relying on, what I'm putting to you is SS9 doesn't give you that instruction, so you acted without instruction, because that's what you're relying on. It follows. You acted without instruction, and that's what it is, General. You can comment lastly whatever the chair allows you to do, but I don't think there's any point in doing this, because we are going around cycle. You insist that you acted on the basis of SS9, and I guess we'll evaluate it for what it is. But that is your evidence. I guess we have to accept your evidence is you acted on SS9.
Feel free to comment, General.
I feel oppressed, Chair.
No, feel free to comment.
I feel oppressed in a sense that this is an official process. It's not a private process, it's an official process coming from the minister to the national commissioner to me. We are all in it. Now, when the national commissioner chose to do something with General Khumalo, which he never alerted me to, he never said to me, leave it, I will do it, and then went and did it somewhere with General Khumalo when I don't know. And I kept on communicating and doing things, hoping that I'm doing that what the national commissioner also expects me to do. And then in the meantime, later, it transpired that he was doing his own thing. But what pains me the most is the fact that even the same letter that I know is going around in circle, but even the same letter, this letter, comes from the National Commissioner's office. Now, although I own it because I had to sign it, it just kills me to see how the commissioners are rejecting it, that it comes from the National Commissioner's office. It was prepared from the National Commissioner's office. Even though I signed it, I accept that. But be that as it may, Chair, I accept, and I don't want to really make the commissioners angry. I accept this point, and whatever direction it takes, I'll accept it, Chair.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Shouldn't we perhaps take the adjournment at this stage? We're moving on to a new point, Ms. Hassan.
I had one last thing to round up on this, and then move on to. So,
that's in,
I'm in your hands, Chair.
That's in order. That's in order. Please proceed.
It's just one. Let's say 3 questions that I'd forgotten at the end of my last round of questioning, and it's this. It's about the implementation.
And we all know that 3 end up being 15.
I'm happy to do it after lunch, Chair.
All right, let's adjourn and resume at 2 p.m. Thank you.
What General Motsepe refers to as an audit.
Which is exactly the term you use.
Which is the term I use because she was in charge of that process. And she says that she conducted an audit of the 121 dockets, and then she says who the team was made up of. She says she was not directly involved in the audit exercise, but she did a few spot checks of the dockets. Okay? Now, it's that audit that I'm referring to, that of the 121, in fact, when we looked at it, only 92 were audited. Did you find something different? Did you look at each of them?
I indicated earlier, Chair, that I've never seen a single document or docket. However, whether it was 92 or it was 121, still the same thing in terms of the process that we are looking at.
What I'm saying to you is that 92 dockets were audited.
Still fine.
Sorry?
It's still okay.
It's okay, all right. And of those 92, 46 were related to the traditional leader killings. Are you aware of that?
Chair, I will be shooting from my head. Unless I'm to be assisted to agree with it, but I don't think there's anything I want to really deny or in this regard.
I'll help you with it. I don't want you to agree to something if you're not comfortable agreeing. So let's just go to the record so you can see it. It's in file 6. It's actually from the reports that were being prepared for the minister. So if we just go to file 6, page 371.
File
6. I think it's file 6.
On the same breath, Chair, may I make a request that on the same breath, are we going to also look into how many were not political related, and how many were drugs, and how many were political killings?
Well, yeah, it's very clear from all the presentations that have been made to you and the minister in these reports.
Page
371.
I've got it, Chair.
Okay. So you'll see traditional leadership related cases at the top of the page. And it says 51 in total. Do you see that?
Yeah, traditional leadership related cases 51, yes, I see.
Okay. But it's broken down further in that table below the heading. And the number that concerns us is the one under blue, because those were the ones that were under investigation and had been transferred. It's 44 plus 1 plus 1, so 46. Do you see that?
I see.
Okay. So 46 of the 92 that were audited were traditional leadership killing cases. Now, the importance of that is that the mandate of the political killings task team was extended to include the traditional leadership related cases from 1st April 2024. And just for the sake of the record, you'll find that extension in the same file 6 at page 609.
But can I comment?
Sorry, did you say you want to comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I?
Yes, General, yes.
At the same time, I like this example that you're giving me, program evidence leader. You are saying to me all the cases, traditional leadership related cases is 51. And then we are saying murder is 44, one attempted murder, kidnapping 1. Now we are saying pending DPP's decision is only 2. Court-going cases only 3 out of 51. And we're saying this is a good work. So